What's the worst that could happen?
These videos are satiric reviews. You don't have to agree, but don't bitch about it.
Hey there, I'm Social Injustice Warrior V Infuso, and welcome back to the series in which I take a look back at The Undertaker's undefeated streak, and everything that came after it. And did you think I was done with this? Did you really think that The Undertaker's career was over when he faced Roman Reigns? Well, so did a lot of people actually, so I can't blame you. Some had even hoped, and I know this because I was one of them. I mean no offense to the dead man, but that's exactly what his performances in the ring were starting to look like. That of a dead man. Which really shouldn't be all that surprising when you take into account all the wear and tear the industry had on his body. Not to mention that this dude was still going in his 50s, which not many men can do, let alone men who have performed in the same eras that he performed in. Like the first episode of this series, I am again joined by no one. Mainly because the actual match is so short that really it's not even worth it. You know, I'm just wasting somebody's time at that point. You know, and even worse, I'm wasting their time minimally. Like I don't want. If I'm gonna waste your time, I'm gonna make it last. I'm gonna make it worth it. Maybe not so much for you, but for me. The build-up to the match was probably the weirdest out of any. And keep in mind, this includes the time that Undertaker faced a giant dickless Yeti, and the time that he feuded with the boss's bodyguard for burning a stuffed teddy bear. Those are real. Those things happen. We've watched them. After seemingly retiring the year before, going so far as to leave his boots in the ring and heading out to ringside to hug his wife Michelle McCool, the Phenom was challenged at Wrestlemania once again. This time by
John Cena!
And I don't know about you guys, but you already know how I feel about this. I said it in the past, I love reunions. I'm hyped. I'm happy. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
So you're a dead man? I'm a necrophiliac!
No.
Well, screw it. I challenge The Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania!
Cena would call out The Undertaker time and time again in the weeks leading up to WrestleMania, to which he got no reply. Honestly, the whole feud just kind of made Cena look like the jealous ex-girlfriend who just wants a second chance. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that he texted The Undertaker, he called The Undertaker, he left voicemails for The Undertaker. Hell, I'd put good money that Cena spent many late nights and early mornings liking The Undertaker's old Facebook pictures. But alas, Taker didn't respond, leaving his appearance on the show in question. And John Cena heartbroken. When it finally came time for WrestleMania, Cena vowed that he'd spend the show in the crowd, watching as a fan. Which he did, for a while. At some point in the night, a referee approached him to inform him of something. Come to think of it, we never really heard it. I don't know what he could have said. But whatever he said caused Cena to jump the rail. And hey, wait a second! Where's that security guard who took Enzo out? Where are you when we need you? Later in the night, Cena would return, expecting the dead man to rise once more. And for a second, it looked like his dreams were about to come true. The lights went out, only to turn back on to the sound of Elias's guitar.
Were you expecting somebody else?
After a brief confrontation, Cena made quick work of the up-and-comer before his dream would become a nightmare. The lights went out once more, with the spotlight coming down, showing the boots Taker had left in the ring the year prior. Cena headed back to the ring to allow Undertaker to make his entrance. We really have to sit through this 20-minute entrance? You could have got the man a motorcycle? Or a hoverboard? As soon as the bell rings, Taker immediately backs Cena into a corner with the rights and lefts, and puts the fear of the Grim Reaper into that referee. Cena manages to get Taker back into the opposing corner, but he comes back with a big boot and a flying clothesline. The Phenom hits Old School successfully pretty early on, capitalizing off it by slingshotting himself onto Cena on the turnbuckle, and even hitting a snake eyes. Taker would then bounce off the ropes using his signature big boot, and the wind from that boot would somehow knock down WWE Superman. The dead man, looking pretty lively, hits his leg drop and signals for the end with the chokeslam. Cena squirms out of it, slamming Undertaker back down and then calling for his 5-knuckle shuffle. And John, come on, is this the place to do that? Oh, that 5-knuckle shuffle. So I'm sorry, I was thinking something else. Cena taunts the unconscious man in black before bouncing off the ropes, only to be entirely thrown off when Undertaker sits back up.
You didn't see that coming?
Taker hits his chokeslam and immediately follows it up with a tombstone piledriver for the win. And that's it. Taker surprisingly beat the former face of the company without breaking a sweat. Not that dead men sweat, but you understand the analogy. This isn't so much of a match as it is a reminder of just how dominant the dead man truly was. A lot of the backstage rumor points to Cena asking for this match to put Taker over properly. And if that's true, then good on him. He's certainly come a long way since sabotaging Wade Barrett and the entire Nexus stable. We all remember that, right? Well, let's move on from it. While I do appreciate this much smaller, shorter effort than his previous few WrestleMania matches, I can't help but feel this match was entirely unnecessary. At Undertaker's age, any comeback or return is extremely damaging to his overall legacy, and on top of that, his own well-being and health. I think it'd just be better off to leave well enough alone. You know what I mean? Just call it a day, tip your hat, and take your coat off the hanger and go home. So Taker, I doubt that this will ever meet your eyes or ears, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's kind of what I do. Thank you for the memories, but for your own benefit, not as a performer, but as a man, it's time to close the casket on your career. You've done more than enough. You've cemented your name, but don't go breaking your back, you know what I mean? Kick back, enjoy the legacy you left behind. I'm sure there will be many creatures of the night who disagree, and their love for the Lord of Darkness will overtake their empathy for another human being. I can just imagine it now. Screw you, you don't know anything, Undertaker's the best! But dead man, it's time to call it quits. And there's no shame in that whatsoever. So with that being said, I'm the Social Injustice Warrior V Infuso, and if you like the words that came out of my mouth hole and you too want to become a VTard, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's plenty more where this video came from. Follow me on Twitter because, hell, why not? It's not considered stalking if it's on the internet, am I right? And don't forget to join the Discord. I don't have anything catchy to add to that, but just join it. Just go do it. And if you have a free moment of time and a free dollar to spare, then head over to my Patreon, where for just $1, you too could help keep this boat afloat. And if you don't have that dollar, but you do have a free moment of time, then hit the share button. It will help me out tremendously.
VTards, oh.